Greetings, programs. NeoMegaMan back again for part 2 of Let's Play Katawa Shoujo. We last left our hero Hisai in a strange room. Solid morning light shimmers against the light gray ceiling. I'd forgotten to draw the curtains closed last night. This is my room, isn't it? My room. Music track, raindrops and puddles. Relaxing stuff. This is the third room this year that I'm supposed to call mine. Various things around here remind me that indeed it's me who is supposed to be the one living here. My bag's on the floor, my new school books on the desk, my numerous medications on the night table. I stare at the bottles for a moment, deliberating, until I open a bottle, shake out a pill, and pop out a tablet from a foil sheet. I down them with a chaser of water without thinking about the chemistry. My uniforms are in the closet. I slink out from under my sheets and stretch my back before dressing up. Putting on a new school uniform feels like dressing in someone else's clothes. The artificial smell of generic detergent invades my nose, but the feeling of fresh cloth against my back is a good one, natural. It feels like a school uniform, as it should. It's not much different from what I used to wear before. It goes for my other things, too. So far, this place seems more or less like a normal school. Except for the people. I think back to my talk with Kenji yesterday, Misha's constant laughter, and Shizune's sweeping sign language gestures. Well, I've only met 3 students so far. Maybe they aren't that normal, but I'm sure others are. Or perhaps people like them are what passes for normal around here. And what does pass for normal around here? What do people do? I didn't see a lot of kids hanging around after classes yesterday, so maybe there are clubs. If so, I wonder if I should join one. Tick-tock, tick-tock. All through class, the question remains on my mind, so I decided to ask Shizune about it when we split into groups. After all, she did say if I had anything I wanted to know, I should ask her. She crosses her arms and shifts her gaze slowly to Misha, who looks more preoccupied with trying to grind the eraser of her pencil down so that the top is perfect and evenly flat. Sorry, Shi-chan. Is there something you wanted from me? Oh, I see. That's a good question, He-chan. My first thought is that that means she doesn't know, which is worrying. Maybe I'm being too negative. Well, anyway, please, Misha, don't prove me right. Oh, that's right. Everyone is encouraged to join a club. A lot of people do so because there isn't really anything else to do. There are also school events, like the festival coming up in a few days. Almost every student in the school tends to help out with it, doing whatever. So, you actually transferred in at a busy time. Maybe you can help out too. Sure. What's the festival about? Misha freezes. I don't know, He-chan. The truth is it's a local event, and I'm not from this area, so... She starts signing desperately to Shizune, asking to bail her out. Shizune adjusts her glasses at the end of an oddly grandiose flourish and starts signing hard and heavy. Huh? Oh. Who cares? Misha puffs out her chest as she shouts Shizune's words at me with a disproportionate amount of pride. Too loud. I can see heads turning to look in our direction. Oh. Fripperies. Name of the current music track. Good stuff. Not so loud. Human beings evolve with each new generation. The ideals and beliefs behind a festival will inevitably change with time. Now it's about delicious fried food and amusing little games that you play to win prizes. The teacher clears his throat very loudly, batting his long wooden pointer against his other palm like a baton. He shoots a pointed gaze at us. Finally noticing where we are, Misha stifles a yelp and quickly quiets down. Shizune doesn't seem embarrassed at all, though brushing it off without a care. We're in the middle of class and should start working. That's right, Shi-chan. What? That's right. He-chan, are you asked... Oh god, Shizune, that face. He-chan, are you asking because you're interested in joining a club? It could have been my eyes playing tricks on me, but I think I saw a suspicious glance exchange between them. Misha's tone has also changed, although it does that every other word anyway. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Misha and Shizune look at each other again. I am about to ask what they have in mind when something dark flutters in my peripheral vision, catching my attention. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the girl with long dark hair get up from her desk and slip silently towards the door. It doesn't seem like she was working in any group, so no one seems to notice her but me. I glance at the teacher, who also is looking at the dark-haired girl go. Why doesn't he say anything? He-chan, something wrong? Do I look as uneasy as I feel? Or was Misha just looking at me, looking after the girl who left? No, nothing. Okay, well, like we were asking, you don't have any plans for lunch today, do you? I thought I'd go to the library and pick up some books. Not really. Oh, whoops. Do you want to have lunch together then? Sure. Yay! Okay, He-chan, perfect. The rest of class passes uneventfully. The girl with the long hair never came back. Before I have the time to put any more thought into where she could have gone, the teacher informs us that it's time to stop working. Shizune looks more than just a little annoyed that we only managed to barely finish our work on time. I'm just glad we finished it at all. It's not a contest or anything. Yes, it is, He-chan. That's impossible. Really? Really. I've noticed this before, but it's kind of funny how Misha is always moving her hands and signing not only everything she says, but what anyone else is saying at any given moment. Obviously, it must be so Shizune can understand it. Her eyes dart back and forth between Misha's hands and me. I don't know who I'm supposed to be looking at. I'm talking to Misha, but that might be wrong. Maybe I should face Shizune. I'm used to looking in the direction of the person whose voice I'm hearing, but really... Shizune can't hear me, but it would be disrespectful to talk to her only through Misha. Then again, isn't that what she's doing? No, at least she's looking at me. This is all very confusing and it'll take some time to get used to. It's not a contest, because contests are competitions over a prize. If there's no prize on the line, it's not really a contest. Shizune's eyes flash dangerously with a competitive glare. She stares at me as if surprised that I'm challenging her. I think maybe this is a contest to her. I never noticed before how dark and blue her eyes are. It's truly an alluring gaze. Are you sure, He-chan? Very sure. You're wrong, He-chan, because I don't want to be the slowest one in the class. Therefore, what's on the line is my confidence in my abilities, and the prize is the satisfaction of proving them. Shizune pushes her glasses up the bridge of her nose in a very matter-of-fact way. I'd argue more, but the bell rings, and she quickly gets up and picks up her bag, looking at me expectantly. I had almost forgotten I was supposed to have lunch with him. Shoo! Where do you want to eat? Cafeteria? Haha, that's so plain. Okay, let's go. Plain? Well, I guess. At my old school, I liked to eat outside, near the back of the building. There's a good spot, but I didn't find it until near the end of my freshman year. I wonder if there's a similar place to eat here. Misha seems to imply as much. Shizune and Misha pull me towards the cafeteria, which is surprisingly not packed. Maybe some students favor eating in a classroom or outdoors. I saw some classmates at box lunches. After we finish eating, Misha picks up where we left off earlier. So, He-chan, you wanted to know about clubs and stuff, right? Right? Right, He-chan. Okay, I guess it makes sense to ask first. Exchanging little nods of confirmation, they turn to face me again, and Misha straightens her posture as if she's about to deliver a speech. He-chan, do you have anything you're really interested in? Well, I used to play soccer, but I'm not really into it. I don't follow the teams and players or anything like that. As of late, I usually just read a lot. There's a book club, right, Shi-chan? Right. But it seems like they have all the members they can possibly have right now. Sorry, He-chan, it's a really popular club. Ah, okay, but more to the point, He-chan, does this mean that you don't have anything already in mind? Not really. Good, great. That's great, He-chan. Really great. Why is it so great? No reason. Well, He-chan, other than clubs and upcoming festival, there is one other thing. Student council! I see. I didn't know this school had a student council. That was a very melodramatic setup, though, just to tell me that. I'm pretty sure the two of them know this, because Shizune looks a little embarrassed about it, and Misha is laughing. Shizune quickly retakes control of the discussion, in a manner of speaking. After all, it's still Misha who has to voice whatever she says. Ha ha. Right. He-chan, maybe you should join the student council. They could use more people. Yes, definitely. You should definitely join. Why? Well, for one, we could hang out every day, He-chan. Shi-chan and I are both in the student council. Actually, Shi-chan is the president. Starting to get the suspicion here that Shizune and Misha might not exactly be the most unbiased people to talk to about this. As if reading my mind, Shizune quickly adjusts her glasses and signs something to Misha. Of course, we're not trying to get you to join just because we would obviously benefit from you joining the student council and therefore have an incentive to try to get you to. So you're admitting that... no, we admit nothing. I mean, He-chan, of course it would be nice if you joined and we'd appreciate it. But even without all that, joining the student council shows a healthy interest in the workings of one's school. Yep, it's true, He-chan. Besides, don't you want to spend time with us after school, He-chan? I can't tell if she's being genuine or if this is really just good acting. Both of them seem to be trying hard to look their cutest, although they are already pretty cute to begin with. Well... So it's settled then. Welcome to the student council, He-chan. What? No! Aw. See, Shi-chan, of course it wouldn't go so easily. Yep, that's right, though. It'd be boring if it went that smoothly. Oh well. Shi-chan owes me candy now. You're betting on it? Hey, my life is not a game here. Shizune seems very intrigued when Misha signs that to her. The aggressive glint returns to her eyes. That's interesting, He-chan. Let's play a game. That's not what I said. How about Rich Man, Poor Man, He-chan? If you lose, then you have to join the student council. No, absolutely not. Aw, why not? Because you two both have the same incentive and therefore the same goal, which is to get me to join the student council, right? Yep. Yeah, that isn't my goal. But what this means is that both of you can team up and I'll be at a clear disadvantage, so I'll have to decline. He-chan, I'm very offended. Are you saying that you don't trust us and that we would pull something so... disingenuous? That makes me sad. Sorry? It's hard to tell where Shizune's influence ends and Misha's thoughts begin. In order to atone for hurting a young girl's feelings, you should definitely join the student council. No! How about a game of paper football then, instead of Rich Man, Poor Man? Paper football? Yeah, it's a game they play in America. You make a paper triangle, and then you try to shoot it past goalposts the other players make with their fingers. Isn't that cool? The ultimate form of competition between two people, He-chan. I thought that was kendo. And it's also played by elementary and middle school children, Shi-chan. It's just a game that really separates the boys from the men. More like the boys from the slightly older boys. Anyway, I'm not going to play that either. Just the fact that you know about it means you're probably surprisingly good at it. Yeah, that's true. How did you know, He-chan? Shizune frowns at Misha, telling me that she probably wasn't supposed to admit that so readily. I wouldn't say that I'm happy with their attempts to get me into the student council, but I'm a little curious about what the student council does here. I've never been on one before, or even known anybody who was a member, so it interests me. I also kind of like Shizune and Misha, so it wouldn't be so bad. Okay, He-chan, how about Risk, the game of world domination? I don't know what that is. It's really fun, He-chan. You fight for control of the world with armies and everything. Sounds like Shizune would be good at it. If you want to play, we can after school. Ah, really, Shi-chan? We could play just for fun, He-chan. Shi-chan hasn't played in a long time, so if you want to, there are no strings attached. Well, okay. Okay. Perfect. We'll see you after school in the student council room then, He-chan. Wait, why there? Because that's where we keep the game. I grimaced to tell him how much I don't like this, but it's more for show than anything. So in the end, I agree, but only after getting Shizune to acknowledge that I don't mean anything concrete just by accepting to take a look around and play a game with her. Lunch ends and we go back to class. And I got bad news for you, Hisao. Wait. During afternoon classes, the long-haired girl comes back and sits down in her seat without a word. Again, no one seems to notice, or if they do, no one says anything. I want to ask Misha about it, but I don't want to be nosy. After school, Shizune and Misha quickly find me by the first floor lobby and latch onto me, covering each flank in case I might try to escape. I feel a little offended, but I had been considering it. Nevertheless, I'm a bit disturbed that enough people have made a break for it in the past and are on their guard. What's with the escort? This doesn't make me feel very comfortable. In fact, it makes me feel like a dangerous prisoner being transported to his cell. What's wrong, Ichan? That's right, we're just gonna go play a game of Risk, remember? I don't know, Misha, this all seems a little sinister to me. I start thinking that when we sit down to play the game, they'll tie me down and torture me until I agree to join the student council. Well, that's highly unlikely, but still, for some reason, it just seems like it would be so plausible. I want you to remember what Hisao was thinking there for later, folks, because it'll become surprisingly relevant. Getting to the student council room is as simple as turning 2 corners from where we started. What? That's it? This makes you guys being so on top of me seem a little silly. That's not true, He-chan. Shi-chan says that when their life is threatened, people have shown the capability to pull off superhuman bursts of speed. Life is threatened? Her expression unchanging, Misha signs something amusedly to Shizune, who makes a baffling face and puts her hands behind her back, looking pleased with herself. Misha feigns deafness and hums cheerily. Stop that, I know you heard me. You have no excuse, unlike Shizune. Shizune opens the door to the student council room. It's a very plain, sparsely decorated room, although it is quite large, maybe even a little larger than a classroom. There's a big table in the center, surrounded by chairs, and a smaller desk prominently placed in the back that I assume is Shizune's. There are a few regular desks and chairs stacked to one side. Extras, perhaps? Aside from the tables and chairs, the room doesn't have much else to offer. Just a couple of filing cabinets and bookshelves stacked with old records and documents. Not much else. In fact, nothing else. This is a pretty bleak room. They could at least put a potted plant in here or something. But the most noticeable thing that this room doesn't have is other people. Are we early? No. What do you mean, no? Does it mean nobody else is coming today? Yeah, that's right. Before I manage to ask why that's the case, Shizune claps her hands together very energetically. He-chan, let's play Risk. Come on, you promised, didn't you? You have to. Okay. You want to know the rules? We can explain to you while everything's set up. We set everything up. God, I can't read today. While Misha is talking, Shizune takes out what looks like a board game from behind one of the filing cabinets and throws it on the table. Actually, this looks kind of interesting. After Misha spends a little too long for her liking running through the basics with a somewhat vague and confusing tutorial, Shizune cuts in and declares that the game has started with a decisive motion, slicing her arm through the air. Shizune's aggressiveness is rubbing off onto me. I start feeling more competitive than I intended to be when I agreed to this. Halfway into the game, while I try to ponder how to defend against Shizune's assault from 2 fronts, she breaks my concentration by drumming her fingers on the table to get my attention. He-chan, Shi-chan wants you to know that you're taking too long to make a move. Shi-chan also says that she'll let you keep Australia if you agree to join the student council. I thought this was a game with no strings attached. Just the fact that she would dangle that over me as an offer means that she knows I care about the outcome of this game. And anyway, no. Shi-chan admires your fighting spirit and would be a benevolent dictator who would spare your people if you agreed to join the student council. You're so competitive, Shizune. She seems to take this as a compliment. I would expect the student council president to be a little more magnanimous. Magnanimous? She doesn't seem to know what the word means or how it's signed, so she pulls out a piece of paper and writes it for Shizune, who in return signs it back to Misha. Misha presses her index fingers against her temples as if trying to physically imprint the word into her memory. Suddenly, Shizune bursts into a flurry of gestures. Misha looks daunted by the pace of her heated signing. Ah, wait, please slow down, Shi-chan. He-chan, Shi-chan says you're gonna lose. Tell her I will crush her world empire with my rebellion. Okay. Those eyes of hers shine with childlike mischief and a little kitty grin. She says you have no chance if you keep playing like this. No, you won't. Okay, this is another important decision gate, and I already know how to do it. She has a point. Attack aggressively. She's either really mocking me or trying to trick me. I have nothing else to lose, though, so I might as well try something different. Maybe if I spread out my forces and try to control more territories, I can recoup the advantage. Shizune seems to focus on conquering whole nations, so maybe I can sacrifice my hold on continents to gain more small countries. It's worth a shot. A few turns later, I end up losing the game anyway. Hokabi, by the way, the current music track. Good stuff. Shizune adjusts her glasses victoriously and allows herself to tentatively pump a fist in the air in celebration. I win, yay. There's no need to translate that, it was pretty clear. Don't look so sad, He-chan, you were really giving it your best, that's what I thought. Sometimes your best just isn't good enough, though. If anyone knows that, it's me. You did very well for someone who just learned how to play today. He-chan, you attacked Iceland and North America at the same time. That's a very daring move. Shi-chan is impressed. The mark of great people is that they're daring and that they can follow through. You're already halfway there. Isn't that great, He-chan? That isn't enough, though. Just potential isn't enough. There's no point to potential if you don't take the first step, and there's no point to that if you don't keep going. I want to see more. You're right, Shi-chan, but that's so demanding. Signing. Shizune leans forward, suddenly looking a lot less playful and more like the serious person I expected her to be from the start. He-chan, would you like to join the student council? She really doesn't waste any time, does she? But it's only my second day of school, so I'm hesitant about committing to something so early. I haven't even taken a look at any other clubs yet. But spending time with Shizune and Misha doesn't seem like something I would hate. I still need more time to think about it before I decide for sure. Maybe. I'll get back to you on it. Okay, He-chan, but I hope you're not just saying that so I won't feel bad. No, really. Really? He-chan, if you're gonna say that, you're saying it's definitely the truth, and there can't be any mistaking it. I know. I guess I should have my revenge for losing at the very least. Shizune smiles in that mischievous way that feels like twisting the knife in the wound of my loss. I take a glance at the clock on the wall and realize I've spent far longer playing Risk than I expected. Sorry, I think I have to go. I wanted to go to the library. It's not closed yet, is it? Shizune scratches her head and gestures at Misha. How hard can it be to determine whether the library's open? There's a clock right there on the wall. It should be, unless the librarian's absent. I think you're right, Shi-chan. We think the library's open. It's on the second floor, you can't miss it. You want us to show you where it is? No, thanks. It's okay. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye! One flight of stairs up and I run into problems. The second floor hallway is a carbon copy of the third floor one. Wide, of course, and plain, like only hallways can be. The problem is the library's whereabouts are not as easily determined as one would think. The classrooms are marked with signs stating which class they belong to, but then there's a plethora of other unmarked rooms. Is the library one of them? Or is it just somewhere down the hallway? I bet on the latter and choose my direction at random. After I turn around a corner, an unmarked door draws my attention because it's not closed. Oh, this part. Here we go. It's not open either, though, just barely ajar so that I can see it's open and nothing else. It'd make sense for the library door to be invitingly open, and while this one's not quite that, it's good enough. At the very least, it means that someone is inside and I can ask for directions no matter how embarrassing that is. I gingerly push on the center of the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arm ready to pull back at a moment's notice. The feeling of being an outsider to this school can't be shaken from my mind, so much so that I instinctively fear doing something wrong by entering. The door slowly creaks as if groaning from a deep sleep, though it's much easier to open than I anticipated. Leaning over, poking my head even further inside to gain sight of the room as fast as possible, the meek "hello" on my lips is quickly snatched away. Why? This is not what I was expecting. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent, taking in the sight of the solitary figure taking center stage in the otherwise abandoned room. The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing at the doorway staring at the beautiful girl. Evidently having taken her time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup and opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me. "Hello there. May I help you?" Staring directly in front of herself, the movements of her lips seem to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's the soft, measured voice that reminds me she's a being separate from the room itself. Not only is she likely the tallest girl I've ever laid eyes on, but even among the foreigners I've met, she's strikingly distinct. Hi. Sorry for intruding. I was just kinda lost." She takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if it's carefully choreographed beforehand. "Care to take a seat?" Unexpected, considering I'm intruding upon her. Thanks." I slowly step towards another seat opposite her, the girl resting the teacup and saucer upon the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track her movements with my head is telling. My movements with her head is telling. That, and the slight cloudiness to her eyes, means that she must be at least partially blind, like Kenji. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so different from the student council office. "I take it you're a new student to Yamaku." Yeah. I just transferred in yesterday." I get the distinct feeling my speech patterns don't match the formality of hers, accentuated by her restrained bow of greeting. One which I hasten to match before realizing the futility of the action. "I'm Lily Sato. Pleased to meet you." Hisao Nakai." Lily. She gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup. "Would you care for a drink?" "Sure." As much as it pains me, I can't keep step with her formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. Without another word, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out along a shelf. A brush here, a brush there, her left hand often lightly touching the side of whichever container she's pouring into. It seems to be a process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see around her back, she seems to use her long, dainty finger to measure the right amount of water in the cup. It's one thing to see the different disabilities that the students in my class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. Shizune and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me, and Lily herself seems to have workarounds for problems I'd never thought of. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems pleased to be following the correct process of the offerer preparing the drink. "So," her soft voice brings me out of my silent observance, "which room were you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school." "The school library. Shizune and some classmates told me it was on this floor." She finishes pouring water into the teacup as she nods, a small metallic tapping coming from the teacup, indicating it being stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakamichi, as are most students. To be with them means you're in class 3-3, no? That's right. In the science room with Muto. She gives a small giggle before setting down the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. God, just look at that smile. He's quite a character. I imagine you'll come to like him. Most do. This right here is one of my favorite images in this whole freaking game. Okay, calm down. As she sets down the tea, I gently take it and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person, but this seems like a rather bad moment to bring it up. Nonetheless, it smells quite nice. I hardly think it'd be hard to choke down. Thanks, Sato. It tastes really nice. She smiles and quickly waves her hand in front of her face. Lily, please. There's no need to be too formal. She says that in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh. I guess I should try and ask her about herself, as it really does seem as if she's catering to me. So, which class are you from? Imagine it's one of the third-year classes. Correct. I'm in class 3-2, which is on the third floor, same as yours. It's taught by Miyagi, and is specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Sorry. I feel like slapping myself in the face for the faux pas. Looking at her face, though, she doesn't seem the least bit put off by it. My, there's no need to change your speech on my account. Sure. Sorry, I guess I'm really showing my newness here. An environment like this would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. While the same can't be said for everyone, many have come to terms with their conditions. A category which would include her, it seems. All too ready to jump ship from this particular topic. Trainwreck, I segue into another. Do you come here to drink tea often? It's a really nice place. Thinking on it, this might be her version of the place behind my school that I like to have lunch at. I come here fairly often during lunch times. My duties as class representative don't leave me enough time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea. Class rep, huh? Compared to Shizune, her mannerisms seem to be almost completely opposite. While Shizune's blunt and fiercely driven, Lily seems relaxed and calm, almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view of the school's clubs. What kind of clubs are there to join? The more popular ones are the track and field club, which uses the field near the school during lunch times, the baseball club, and the book club in a room near the library. There are also numerous small ones too, such as the art and music clubs. At a time when I'm just wanting to get on my feet, rushing into a club right away seems slightly unappealing. I wonder if this school shares the same rules as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? It isn't, though it's encouraged. Oh, good. That's a relief. I've really let my guard down around this girl to let such a thing slip out. The fact seems to slightly amuse her. God, that smile. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I finally start drinking it, as Lily does the same. As I look over the window over her shoulder, I notice the light coming into the room has a distinctly orange tint. Ah, the afternoon tune. A little loud. Even here, time doesn't stand still. Huh. The time's gone quickly. Sorry? Right, she's blind. Of course she can't see the sun setting. It just looks like the sun's starting to set. It seems to come as a surprise for her. I guess she must have lost track of the time. Sorry, Hisao, I didn't mean to keep you from the library for so long. I quickly move to allay her concern. Ah, no, it's okay. The library's still open, isn't it? She pauses, taking a moment to think on it. It's probably something I should have asked Shizune when I had the chance, but Lily seems to know in any case. True, it's open till 6:30 during weekdays. A quick glance at my watch confirms I have well enough time to get there. I might get going in that case. It's been nice talking with you, Lily. She smiles and gives a deep nod, her hands neatly folded on the table in front of her. It was my pleasure. Oh, come to think of it, shall I show you where the library is? I couldn't possibly ask for more help. I should be able to find it all right. Unless my navigational skills fail me. Again, which they seem to have a habit of doing. It's all right. I was going to be talking to the librarian there in any case. I could introduce you. This gets better and better. It's pretty hard to deny our offer. If you're sure, then that'd be great. Thanks. As she stands up to follow me, she takes hold of a straight, retractable cane that had been slipped into the handle of her bag on the floor. Compared to the cane the boy in my class had, Lily's looks much thinner and longer. His must be for support, whereas Lily's is for navigation. Together we leave the peaceful room and enter the empty hallway on the way to the library. Side by side, my pace carefully slowed to match hers, we slowly walk through the hallway. It doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door to a warm-looking room, apparently situated in the center of the floor rather than in either wing. Ladies first. She gives an appreciative smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. To the left is the wooden library counter, with the library proper being on the right. It easily dwarfs my old school's library, with a distinct smell of old books giving the place an almost old-world air. There don't seem to be a lot of students here. Considering the time, it isn't a big surprise. Everyone's either in the school grounds or in the dorms. Yuko, are you here? She says it to the thin air, since the librarian doesn't seem to be present, and of course Lily can't see this. What's unexpected is that it draws a reaction. Thud. Something from under the counter thuds against it, followed by a quiet wail. Oh. The origin, apparently the librarian, quickly crawls out and bounces up to extremely rigid attention. Hi, Lily. How can I help you? Her voice is strained in a failing attempt to sound casual, and she's rubbing the back of her head. Good afternoon. What happened just now? I heard a strange sound. It's nothing. I just hit my head. See, I dropped an eraser under my desk, and while I was looking for it, a pencil dropped, and then while I was looking for both, you came in and surprised me. Are you alright? I'm sorry, I couldn't know. It's okay, sorry for making you worry. This is nothing, I've had worse happen to me. She's quickly to reverse Lily's apologies, almost frantically trying to push aside the possibility that she could have anyway been inconvenienced by bashing her head on the counter. Yes, worse things have happened. The girl fidgets with her fingers as Lily doesn't seem to drop her concerned expression, and then she shuffles some papers around the counter for no reason. A little shorter than Lily, replete with glasses, freckles, and a very troubled look, she seems to fit a library perfectly. Ah, Lily, did you get my message? Message? Oh, the 2 imported books that arrived. Right, they finally came. I can't believe it took so long, but... Amidst her celebrations, partially for managing to change the topic, I'm sure, she notices me from the corner of her eye and freezes on the spot when she does. Oh no! I'm sorry for not noticing you before. Did you need to check out a book? Or return one? I'm sorry. The way she could so quickly shift between moods is a little unsettling. He's with me, Yuko. This is Hisao, a new student. Hisao, this is Yuko, the school librarian. Pleased to meet you. Hisao. Right, Hisao. Pleased to meet you too. Hisao. For a second, she visibly attempts to engrave the name on her mind so she won't forget. Yuko often arranges to import foreign books in Braille for me. Would you like to tell Hisao a little something about the library? Lily's innocent suggestion is met with an expression of abject terror. Please, Lily, I can't. I don't know what he could be interested in. This is too much responsibility. How it's any responsibility at all, I don't get. But her objection is so sincere, I don't doubt for a second that she would rather disembowel herself on the spot than tell me where the light novels are. But, so, there are a lot of books in Braille here? I attempt to save the day by asking the first thing that pops into my head. It seems to work at least partially, as Yuko seems to not exactly relax, but at least look slightly less tense. Well, I think about a third or a fourth of Yumako's library is either in Braille or audio. Makes sense, given all the blind students that'd be here. If it's only that, how come this library is so big in the first place? Well, we get a lot of new books regularly because the library is adequately endowed. That's probably why. They spend more on new books than on my salary, and then I have to organize and shelve all of them. It's so troublesome, and they waste so much. I wish I could quit this job. ... Motherfucking ... A very awkward silence follows this revelation of too much information. I'll go check the aisles then, if you don't mind. It's probably best for all of us if she doesn't keep talking to me. Very well. Meanwhile, Yuko, I would have those books if it's alright with you. My first impression was right. This library is frickin' huge. Ambling down the narrow aisles, I study the spines of the books in random order, occasionally sliding one out to read the blurb, taking it with me if it looks good. In a few moments, I have a respectable stack of books in my arms. I guess I'll never be stuck for choice here. The normality of the library sinks in. Sure, there are large print and braille books scattered throughout, but it is what it is, a library. It's as if the calm mood from the room I had tea with Lily in snuck with us in here, unless it was here to begin with. Something about that puts me at ease, just like before. I reach the end of an aisle and find a collection of desks set up for study or personal reading. Going a little further, though, I discover a nice quiet corner at the back. While the rest of the library has the odd student sitting at a desk either reading or stealthily sleeping, the back is pretty much deserted. As I glance around, I see someone I recognize sitting on one of several beanbags. It's the dark-haired girl from my class, the one who snuck out of the classroom earlier. She's reading a book, keeping it close to her face, which makes her look like she's really into it. From the way she was acting today, I had her pegged as more of a delinquent than a bookworm. In fact, her mysterious disappearance from the class raises all sorts of whys in my head. Intrigue floats slowly but surely towards the surface, and before I know it, I'm walking towards the mysterious long-haired girl. I guess there's no harm in introducing myself as I would with anyone else. She's a classmate, after all. Walking over to another beanbag, I take a seat and lay my books beside it. The girl starts, looking up scaredly at me from underneath her fringe. This is the first time I've seen her this close. Underneath her long, dense bangs, I can see that part of her face, at least a third if not a half, is pretty badly scarred. My eyes are immediately drawn to the scars, subconsciously peeking past her hair until they meet her own eyes. For a second, I'm shocked, and divert my eyes to the book in her hands before I realize that looking away probably only made it worse. It takes too many seconds to collect myself, and I remember what I walked up to her for. Okay, if I remember correctly, this particular decision gate... Yeah, we need to apologize for startling this poor girl. Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. It's okay. The girl certainly doesn't look like it's okay, but I'll let it slide. So, you mind if I sit here? She seems to be very uncertain as to whether it's okay or not for me to sit, but finally she nods, just a little. Oh, okay. I take a seat next to her, and she hides herself behind the book. Life of Pi. Never heard of it. So, sorry again for startling you. I'm Hisao. She looks up from her book, stalling a little before replying. I know. We are in the same class. Her speech is stilted and so quiet that it's barely audible even in the still library. Somehow I think my delinquent impression of her was very wrong. Hanako. I'm Hanako. I resist the urge to say that's a nice name just to have something to say, but really it's the only thing that I could think of. I feel like an idiot. Everyone here must be used to being different to each other. Here I am being all bothered and fussed about that kind of thing. Don't let me interrupt your reading. I'll just check these books if you don't mind. She nods a little and sighs a little sigh of relief. So I try to read the covers and introductions of the books I picked up, and she buries her face in her book. Uncomfortable silence consumes us. My eyes still wander to her direction, and I sneak peeks at her flowing hair and the scars it's hiding. After a while, I realize that she's doing the same and only pretending to immerse in the life of Pi. Her gaze is not inquisitive at all, though it darts around like a scared rabbit. When our gazes finally meet, the chain reaction is unstoppable. She stands up forcefully from the beanbag and takes a deep breath. I gotta go do something. If I could, I'd edit in the Roadrunner noise there. Meep meep. Without warning, Hanako takes off and runs towards the counter. Her hair-like takeoff catches me so off guard that I don't manage to go after her until she has a good head start. By the time I reach the counter, she's nowhere to be seen. Lily and Yuko are happily chatting away. Knowing that I won't be able to catch Hanako myself, I approach the girls. Hey, did you see or notice a girl run past here? Maybe. What did she look like? Long, dark hair, kinda shy. She had, well, some scars on her face. You wouldn't be talking about Hanako, would you? Yeah, that's her. I saw her reading and tried to talk to her, but I think I scared her off or something. Oh dear. Yuko, would you excuse me? I'd better try to find her. Sure. I'll just hold on to these until you come back. What's going on? I'm sorry, but I'll have to explain it to you some other time. Right. I'll see you later then. Lily hastily grabs her cane and hurries out of the library, leaving me alone with Yuko. I don't think I'll ever get the hang of this place. Did I do something wrong? What did you do? Nothing. I was just looking for some books, and then she got this fit and ran off. The most offending thing I could think of was that I might have looked at her general direction a few times. Well, she is a very timid girl. You have to be very careful around her. She can be very jumpy, I think, and she's not accustomed to talking with other people. Isn't that a bit strange? I wonder... It's just how she is, I think. Yuko doesn't sound all that convincing. Then again, maybe this is just the norm around here. Everyone has their own problems, or else they wouldn't be here. How should I deal with these people? Forcing myself to act overly casually only makes me feel phony. Like I was supposed to be ignoring the elephant in the room. Yuko fidgets, looking like she wants to say something to that, but resists it. I think it's an elephant only if you feel that way. I guess she doesn't have a good sense of self-restraint. Makes me smile and she blushes heavily. What? Did that sound stupid? No, it sounded really wise. I guess you're right. It's more about me than anyone else. Neither of us has anything to add, so Yuko fills the silence by shuffling the papers again. People who have papers on their desks really like doing that. Did you find any books? I should be closing soon. I mean, the library should be closing. But I have to do it. I hope that's not too inconvenient for you. Oh, yeah. I want some books, but I left them back over there because... I'll just go get them. I fetched my stack of books from beside the beanbags where Hanako and I were sitting in return to the counter. Wow, you read a lot, don't you? I surprised myself with that too, honestly, at least when I really think about it. I had a lot of free time earlier this year, so I just kinda started reading books to fill that time. I couldn't do much else. I see. But she doesn't say anything else and just checks out my books for me. I guess this is what they call tact. Holding the library books with one arm, I trawl my pocket for the key to the door. A sudden sound from behind me startles me, making me nearly drop the books I'm carrying, or the key that I almost managed to get into the lock. Who is it? God damn it, Kenji. I turn around to see who's talking to me. It's Kenji. He seems to be in a friendly mood, although the light glinting off his glasses in the dark gives him a sinister look. It's just me. This makes him pause and lick his lips nervously. Who's me? I don't know anyone called me. Are you some new guy again? His voice is suddenly strained and quick. Yes, but we've met before, yesterday. I don't think so. I remember someone who I met only yesterday. When was that? What day is today? I try to ignore him. Is he joking or what? Prove that we've met before. You live across the hall. You're Kenji. Kenji jumps back, his eyes filled with an uncomprehending fear. How do you know my name? Damn, this can only mean one of two things. Either we have met and you're telling the truth, and I just can't remember it, or you're a spy. Excuse me. He pauses. A psychic spy. Jesus Christ. His eyes dart around me, trying to peek into my room, although it's hard to believe he can see anything through those thick glasses. His mood swung from friendly to manic in less than a minute. I'm not psychic. How do I know that? I'm not a mind reader. Kenji points a finger in my face damningly. Unlike you. Stop that, man. We met yesterday. What's wrong with you? I live in this room. Lies. If you think you could pass this Hisao because I'm legally blind, you're sorely mistaken. You don't even look like him. I mean, the resemblance is real slim. Maybe at a distance, but who do you think you're kidding? I want to grab him by the shoulders and shake him until he shuts up. Exasperated, I rub my eyes and let out a heavy sigh. Stay there. Kenji comes closer, one careful step at a time. I stay still lest he assault me physically, although I doubt he could do much damage even if he did. Escape leader. Oh, wait. I see it now. Damn, it really is you. Sighing again, and then once again for good measure, I step backwards just in case. What's up, man? You don't look too good, I think. Something wrong? I don't know. Just had something stupid happen to me. A few stupid things, actually, even if you discount this one. I can't get a proper touch on other people here, and I have no idea if it's because of me or because of them. Why are you talking to Kenji about this? I don't know why I'm telling this to Kenji. Well, there's an answer. It's not like we've had any contact either. That's rough, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry about calling you a psychic spy and all, but you never can be too careful. It's the hard reality we live in. I'm slowly starting to think that Kenji isn't necessarily living in the same reality as the rest of us. You see, this is how it is, this world. There's no justice, you see. Even when I lose, I win, because I don't lose the lesson. What does that even mean? Doesn't matter. He dismisses it flatly with a wave of his hand. So what happened? Why the long face? Do you have a long face? That's nothing. I just scared off some girl accidentally. Literally, too. She actually ran away from me. My fault, really, I think. I'm not really used to all this yet. A girl? A cute one? Cute? That's a hard question. She had a nice body and really beautiful hair, but the face... I guess it could go either way. Okay, as much as it pains me to do this, to ensure that we're on the right path, we have to say that no, she wasn't cute. Not exactly cute, no. There are a lot of cute girls here, a strangely disproportionate amount. I believe this is one of the dark secrets of this school. I tried to warn you, man, but did you listen? I don't remember any such warning. Dark secrets? Yes, dark secrets. Extremely dark, like a black hole. Have you noticed that the number of girls in this school is slightly but significantly higher than the number of boys? It's like 60-40. My head turns to the left and stares off into the distance at nothing. Why is it like this? I mean, to the untrained eye, it doesn't appear to be that bad, but that's a full 20%. One would think that a school with such a huge pool of women would be a man's dream, but no. What I'm about to tell you could blow your mind. Are you ready? I don't know where this is going, but I won't be missing much by cutting out now. No, I'm not ready. I only get as far as turning the doorknob before Kenji just starts talking again, showing that he really doesn't care if my mind is blown or not. I believe... Current music track, high tension. I believe that this school is a battleground, the site of a feminist infiltration. This disparity in the number of men to women is a clear sign of how far they've come. And in case this Cold War turns hot, they will have superiority in numbers. Just another skirmish in the eternal war against the forces of the feminists. They're everywhere. In Japan, women outnumber men. It's not a 60-40 split, but it's only a matter of time, man. Even in America, women are the majority by a hair. They're building up their numbers. In the past, the buildup of the military has always been the clearest sign of an imminent war. Japan is just the first step. Our economy is badass, and the country itself is small and isolated, yet a huge part of the Pacific in terms of political value. The perfect target. They're so cunning, as expected of women. Soon the day will come when... Kenji's voice trails off ominously. That's why you can't trust them. They'll string you along, then kill you, just as they killed me. You'll wind up just like me. Oh, hell no. I can't stop myself from blurting that out. Hey, what the hell does that mean? Back to out of the loop. You said it, not me. It's the best I can think of. So? You're not supposed to say something like that. Damn, it's so rude. Or was I? Oh yeah, vast feminist conspiracy. Stop it. Stop! I lost you way back there somewhere around feminist infiltration. Too hard to follow? It's cool. I have some graphs and stuff in my room. And puppets. You like puppets? No puppets. You don't like puppets, okay. Graphs are still cool though, right? He speaks energetically, responding almost before I'm done talking, moving his hands in an animated way as he continues to rant on. This is too strange. I had him pegged as relatively normal, but it's clear I was way wrong. Something on your mind, dude? Just thinking about what it's like to be the last sane man in an insane world. Genji frowns, looking deeply upset. You mean that's you? That can't be, because I'm the last sane man in an insane world. That's my dream. You can't just steal a man's dream. What the hell? There can't be two last sane men. That would invalidate the whole last part. And that part's kind of important. There could be only one, like that Thor movie where there could only be one. And in the end, there was only one dude left because that was the point. In case anybody's not aware, he's referencing the Highlander series. I've never seen anybody talk so heatedly and so defensively about absolutely nothing before. God damn it, Kenji. Anyway, if you wait here, I can get my graphs. I also have a list of the other dark and complex conspiracies that the school holds. As tangled as... Quick, finish my analogy for me. Be a pal. I'm gonna go to bed now. It's extremely late. That doesn't sound like an analogy, but whatever. I like you. You seem like a cool dude. Most people don't understand what I'm talking about when I try to explain the vast feminist conspiracy to them. Denial's a terrible thing. Later. He claps me on the back and then vanishes into his room so quickly and quietly it's like he didn't even open the door, but instead walked right through it like a ghost. I don't know if I can fully digest what just happened here, so I give up and just go to my room, kicking off my shoes before falling face first into bed. It takes me some time to relax and get up so I can get started on my homework. It's because the sheets are cool and comforting against my cheeks, and it feels good just lying there with my eyes closed. This school's like some sort of bizarre and surreal island. It's isolated on top of a mountain, and each person is stranger than the last. I just can't seem to fit in. What irony. One would think that fitting in a place that's made for people who are unfit for anywhere else would be easy. Maybe I'm trying too hard. Although I say that, it doesn't help take the edge off. And the words are left echoing off empty walls. I guess it's not as bad as I expected, though. This place really is more a school and less a hospital pretending it's a school than I thought it would be. If nothing else, the scenery's beautiful. I open one eye, seeing the school books and bottles of pills arranged side by side on my desktop. Maybe this place is too much like a normal school after all. Okay, well that's technically day 2 done. Okay, we're going to leave it here at the beginning of school the next day. So, for Katawa Shoujo Part 2, next time, yeah, we'll just continue from where we're going through in Act 1 next time. I'm your host, NeoMegaMan, and I'm signing off. End of line.